And we are on. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thanks for joining me here on Wednesday. Stop, President Trump. Stop. I can't take any more winning. I can't take any more. Stop. It's okay. We're going to keep winning. I can't keep up with this man. I'm a 63, about to be a 64-year-old man who can't keep up with a 78-year-old man. This guy is on fire. Donald Trump is on fire. It's unbelievable. He has done so many things in a week, many of them really good, not all, but right now I'm giving him about an A-, a couple of miscues, but overall, he is just absolutely on fire. There's just no other way to put it. He's on fire. He is just relentless. He's pedal to the metal. There is no brake in his vehicle. He is just balls to the wall, as they say. His energy level is incredible. I have heard that Donald Trump hates to sleep. He hates it. He doesn't want to sleep. He only sleeps when he has to. His days begin early and end late. He is a medical marvel, if you ask me. Still plays a mean game of golf, too. He can hang in there with the pros, as he has demonstrated. But there's so many things that he's done that I want to touch on. Let me go ahead and get started quickly, because some of this is really exciting. Before I get started with that content, today I watched the new White House press secretary in action. She's a woman by the name of Karoline Leavitt, and she is fabulous. Unbelievable. You don't get to hear from her that much because Trump is so accessible. Donald Trump loves to talk to the press. He loves to take questions. It's almost like he chases the press down. Hey, don't you want to ask me anything? You got any questions for me? You got any other questions? Is that it? Anything else you want to ask? What a complete 180 from what we had before. He is so accessible. The first day he's in his office, surrounded by the press, the Oval Office, signing a bank of executive orders. Finally today, we get to see Karoline Leavitt in action, and this gal is bright. She is sharp as a tack. What a contrast between Karoline Leavitt and her predecessor, Karine Jean-Pierre, whose job it was to come out every day and hem and haw, avoid, obfuscate, lie, and cover for Joe Biden. Everything she was saying was a lie. She knew it was a lie. We knew it was a lie. Everybody knew it was a lie, but it was her job to lie for Joe Biden. That's what she did. She knew she was lying. I don't know how she put her head on the pillow at night, but she did. She's gone. She was terrible at her job. Karoline Leavitt, in the world of press secretaries, is a breath of fresh air. Just like the current president is a breath of fresh air over what we had. It's night and day. They're just not comparable whatsoever. It's just, folks, we've never seen anything like this. Not in my lifetime, certainly. Not even with President Reagan, who I really thought a lot of. But this is something new. This is leadership like we have never seen. This is, for the most part, a man who is putting his country first and is doing what is best for his country. Imagine that. We haven't had a president go to bat for us in decades. Certainly not with the Bushes. Certainly not with Obama. Certainly not with Clinton. Certainly not with Biden. These people were like natural enemies of America. Donald Trump is a man who loves America, and it's in his wheelhouse to do what is best for America. He doesn't come from the ruling class. He's not in the swamp club. He's not one of these ruling elites. He's not a Romney. He's not a Kerry. He's not an Obama, a Clinton, or a Bush. He's an outsider, and that's why they hate him, pardon me. What a breath of fresh air. It is so great to be able to breathe the sweet air of America again, I got to tell you. But anyway, this was the big news from today. Donald Trump has frozen federal spending. I want to get this accurate, and I want to read to you, so bear with me, please, from Forbes magazine. The Trump administration said Monday, 2 days ago, it will pause federal grant programs to review whether they align with President Trump's agenda, leading to widespread confusion and legal pushback, while the White House insists the move shouldn't impact programs like Medicare. Now, Caroline Leavitt expounded on this today. I watched her press conference. It was over an hour long, but it was fantastic. It was great TV. The temporary moratorium, detailed in a surprise Office of Management and Budget memo, ordered a pause in all federal assistance, including but not limited to grants related to diversity, foreign aid, and woke gender ideology. So, in other words, I won't belabor you with the whole story, but in other words, Trump is saying we're going to slam on the brakes on the federal spending and the grant programs, and we're going to do a little investigation as to where this money is going and whether or not the recipients of this money are given over to the woke agenda or the DEI agenda. That's what he's saying. And so they start doing a little bit of digging. And of course the press is hysterical. Most of the press is hysterical. The gals over on The View are hysterical because now that, you know what that means. This racist move means, of course, that we're going to be starving children and old people. The kids aren't going to have their school lunches anymore. Nobody's going to get their Social Security checks. Nobody's going to get their welfare checks. That is not at all what is happening here. None of that money has been affected by this whatsoever. It is federal grants and loans to see whether they are associated with the woke ideology or DEI. It's as simple as that. They're doing a little deep dive here at the OMB, Office of Management and Budget, and they've already found a couple of things that may be of interest to you. For example, they found in their early audit, they found, and this would have happened had Biden stayed in office or Harris had become president. They found that 50 million American taxpayer dollars were about to be spent for condoms in Gaza. $50 million for condoms in Gaza. I can't explain that. I'm scratching my head. What is this, a joke? $50 million, folks. And Trump is saying, yeah, I don't think so. Here's another one. Over $30 million was going to be sent to the World Health Organization. Ain't happening. As you know, Trump signed another EO yesterday, I believe it was Tuesday, pulling us out of the World Health Organization. Bravo, Mr. President. So you should have done that, and you did do it, and good on you. We should not be in that corrupt organization, WHO. They were about to get $30+ million of American taxpayer money. They're not getting it now. And that's just two things that I can mention. And that's why he's doing this, because they are simply doing at OMB a review of where these monies are going in terms of grants and what have you, and whether or not and NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and they're just putting the brakes on things to see whether or not the dollars that are going to be sent are going to be supporting these woke programs or these DEI programs, whether or not these NGOs are in agreement with this ideology, because if they are, then there's a good chance they're simply not going to get the money. So Trump said, it's not happening. I'm freezing it right now. Now, of course, as you might expect, there's been some federal judge somewhere, I didn't read where, probably on the West Coast, probably San Francisco or Portland or Seattle or somewhere like that, that's put a halt to it because, as you know, we have a runaway maverick court system in America. There's a word I'm looking for. Rogue court system, out of control, an entity unto itself, and this federal judge has put a halt to Trump's freeze. But all that means is it'll simply go up another level in the activist. That's what I was trying to say. Activist court. It's going to go up to a higher level in the court. I mean, I guess it could go all the way to the Supremes if need be. But that Trump did this is a good thing. And Trump, as we say in the South, is going to hang in there like a hair in a biscuit. So this is not over. Trump is trying to get our fiscal house in order, and good on him. It does not affect welfare payments. It does. I wish it would, but it doesn't. It doesn't affect senior benefits. It does not affect school lunch programs. It does not affect Social Security. None of these things are affected by it at all. But you wouldn't hear that from the mainstream media. Trump is simply freezing spending for these grant loan programs and NGOs until we can do a deep dive and find out exactly where this money is going and whether or not it still should go there or not. All right, one more thing. There's so many things he's done. I've got a list I'm trying to go through here. He signed an executive order yesterday. Donald Trump signed an executive order banning transgender treatment for minors. Again, good for you. You want to go get transgender treatment for minors, shouldn't that be between you and your insurance company or you and your physician or whatever? Why do you have to drag the federal government into such a proposition and make taxpayers foot the bill for it? So Trump signs another EO banning this, and good for him. All right, let's see. I got so many things here. All right, how about this? By the way, have you been to the White House website lately? I purposely avoided going to the White House website the last 4 years. I didn't want to leave any trails from my home address, if you will, my web address, going to that foul and deplorable place on the internet. But I went to the White House website last night. It's just fantastic. The photos alone are worth the price of admission. You ought to check it out. Whitehouse.gov. It's a great place to go to keep abreast as to what Trump is doing on a daily basis. It's not hard. The light of day is being shown from the White House. This man is open. He is accessible. He is transparent. He is nothing like Joe Biden. How can you not love this? A president who is open with us and honest with us, talks to us, reveals all to us, signs documents saying, yeah, we're going to find out what happened with JFK. More about that in a minute. We're going to find out what happened with RFK. We're going to find out what happened with MLK. Release it all. Let's shine the light on everything. He is the exact opposite of what his accusers accuse him of being. Now, Donald Trump, this is fantastic news. Last night, or yesterday afternoon, Donald Trump, boy, this is exciting. Donald Trump has offered a buyout to 2 million federal workers. Now, what have I been saying on my channel for the longest time? I understand we've got a problem with Washington politicians. They get in there and they're there for life. It's incestuous. It's smarmy. It's terrible. But what I've been saying is the real enemies of the freedoms Americans want to enjoy is this bureaucratic class that lives in and around the Beltway. Nobody votes them in. They get in there and they run these agencies that are a government unto their own, such as the EPA and the IRS. They kind of run their own show. They're weaponized. They can shut your business down. And there's no recourse because they're not elected officials. How can you fight them? And it's these people that need to go by and large. That's what I have been saying this whole time. And Trump, I guess in operation with DOGE, with Doge, Elon Musk, I guess Vivek Ramaswamy, they're making these recommendations for Trump. I don't know if he needed their help for this, but basically he's saying, I'm offering a buyout to 2 million, man, that's fantastic, federal workers. I will give you, Trump says, 8 months of salary, and you have 8 days to accept the offer. 8 days. I'm giving you a buyout. 8 months of salary, but you've got to tell me what you want to do in 8 days. Now, I'm only speculating here. What if one of these federal workers says, no, I'm not going to take your offer? My guess is, folks, that they would be really wise to take Trump's offer, because I'm thinking that Trump is kind of sending a not so subtle signal that your job is going to just go away. It's just going to go away. So you would probably be wise to do the prudent thing here and take my offer, if you know what I mean. Because if you don't take my offer, things might not go as well for you as you might like. In other words, take the offer and get out of town, because we're going to end your job regardless. That's my take on it. I don't know if I'm right about that, but I bet I am. Trump is identifying these jobs and determining, in my opinion, that these are jobs that don't need to exist. And so he's trying to be, in my opinion, he's standing up for the taxpayers, for heaven's sakes. For once, we have an advocate in Washington. For once in the White House, we have a president who actually cares about the actual taxpayers, the very people who have to foot the bill for these bureaucrats. We are paying their salaries, but nobody gives us the time of day. We're the ones that are always blanked on, if you know what I mean. We're the schlubs out here that have to bankroll all of this crap. And Trump is standing up for the working man and woman in America who have to pay the bill for these people, who have jobs that probably don't need to exist at all. So Trump is saying, here's my offer. Resign and take 8 months of salary and give me your answer within 8 days. And I'm just speculating that if they don't take his offer, then it's not going to end well for them. That's what my take on that is. But what a man, that is so encouraging. I'm telling you, what a great day this is. All right, how about little Lindsey Graham, Lindsey McCain Graham, the former faithful ward of old man McCain, who has gone on to somewhere else. Old man John McCain, old man John Obamacare at the midnight hour McCain, and his youthful ward Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. Lindsey Graham is concerned. You know what he's concerned about? He is concerned about the fact that Donald Trump has revoked the security clearance of several people, but especially in this case, John the Walrus Bolton. Everybody knew who John Bolton is, the guy with the mustache? John Neocon Bolton, the man who can't sleep at night if he suspects that one of our wars might be ending. Neocon extraordinaire John Bolton, and Lindsey Graham's just like him. The difference is Lindsey Graham's in the Senate. And he is concerned that Donald Trump has revoked John Bolton's security clearance. He's taken his hall pass away from him and said, sorry, you don't get this anymore. He's taken away his security detail. And somebody asked Caroline Leavitt yesterday in the press conference, what do you have to say about John Bolton losing his security detail? And she spoke for Trump, who literally spoke for Trump, who said this very thing in essence. She said, if John Bolton wants a security detail, nothing is stopping him from hiring a security detail. I'm standing up and applauding Caroline Leavitt when I heard that. Exactly. You want a security detail? Go get you a security detail, darling. Nobody's stopping you. If I want a security detail, I'll go get me a security detail. Why do I have to pay for a security detail for John Bolton? Who is he? Who is John Bolton? Other than a man who wants the United States government to go to war with every other nation that he can think of in the world. We're not at war with this nation over here. Why not? We need to be. This man is a war-loving hawk. And thank God Donald Trump took away his security clearance and booted him to the curb. Give us some doves for once. Donald Trump is known for saying he doesn't want war. He just wants the fighting to stop. He's not taking sides in Russia or Ukraine, nor should he. He's basically saying, when pressed on the matter, I just want the war to end. Now, Israel's another story, but I don't want to get sidetracked here. Donald Trump, I believe, is trying to reintroduce the lost concept of diplomacy onto the world scene. Anybody remember diplomacy? Do you remember, does anybody remember when we used to actually sit down and talk to other nations? We haven't had that in decades. Not since the days of Bush, Papa Bush, at least. Where we just go into all these foreign lands and start dropping bombs and say, hell, we'll talk about it after we're done shooting. We don't have diplomacy anymore. We don't sit down and talk with people anymore. In fact, what should have happened with Russia and Ukraine from the American perspective, the American president, no matter who it was, should have simply just sent a message to the particulars in charge in both lands through his Secretary of State and simply said, if you need us to help facilitate an attempt at peace, here's our phone number. Otherwise, stay out of it. It's none of our business. And that's pretty much Donald Trump's position, at least apparently on Russia and Ukraine, unless there's something I don't know about. And that's the way it ought to be. Bring back diplomacy. Stop involving us in all of these wars all over the world that are bankrupting the United States of America, but making a few select Americans rich as sultans. Hello, Dick Cheney. Hello, Liz Cheney. Hello, Nancy Pelosi. Halliburton, Lockheed, Boeing. Hello, Nikki Haley. Profiting off of war. Is there anything more insidious or evil than that? Okay, what else have I got? All right, a couple of more things. I got the EO. There was a statement released today or last night, or yesterday, I guess it was. I found it yesterday on the White House website. It was a statement that the White House released on these drones. You remember I talked a few days ago about the drones flying over New Jersey. Trump had said once in office he was going to reveal what the drones are, what they're all about. I talked about this in a previous video about what they could be. Could be something really bad, or who knows? All we can do is speculate. I'm still in a place of speculation, even after the White House statement. And just to show you that I'm not a 100% fanboy, I'm going to tell you that I view the White House statement on drones a little suspicious. I'm a little suspect about it. I'll just read it to you and you tell me what you think. This is the White House statement on the drones. The drones are, quote, authorized to be flown by the Federal Aviation Administration for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals. This was not the enemy, unquote. That is the White House statement on drones. Do you believe that? I'm not sure I believe that. But, you know, we should be suspect of government, no matter who's in the White House. I don't care if it's Trump or not. We should be wary. We should be ever questioning everything coming out of government. There's nothing wrong with that. I believe that it is the healthy approach to be somewhat skeptical. Do you not? That's kind of the job of the press, no matter who's in office, to be skeptical of what we're told so that you can dig deeper, ask questions, and hopefully find out what the truth is. So I don't know if I believe this statement from the White House, but there it is for you and your consideration. Tell me below what you think if you want to. All right, one more thing before I go. As you know, two things actually, but they're related. Donald Trump has signed an executive order ordering the release of the JFK, RFK, and MLK files. Now, you're not going to see these files within a few days. It's going to be a while before it's released. This is why it is so important that Tulsi Gabbard be confirmed as NSI, National Security Intelligence Director, I believe the title is. She is up for Senate confirmation this week, as is Kash Patel for the FBI and Robert Kennedy for HHS. I don't know how it's going to go. We need to pray or send good vibes or whatever you do, good thoughts, that these people be confirmed. All three need to be confirmed. Tulsi Gabbard needs to be confirmed. And if confirmed, it is going to fall to her to administrate a plan for the release of the aforementioned files. She will be supervising the release of these files. So I suspect, even if she is confirmed, I suspect it will be a matter of at least weeks and probably months, quite frankly, before we see the files see the light of day. Now, the reason, folks, that the ruling class do not want these files released, I can tell you this just as a layman sitting down here in the sticks in Alabama. It is because there is information in these files that implicates the federal government. It makes them look like the bad guys, which they are, were, and are. That's what the holdup's all about. I'll take it a step further. We're going to find out angles to the JFK assassination we didn't know about. It's going to confirm that the JFK assassination was an inside job. It's also going to confirm, I predict, that Sirhan did not kill Robert F. Kennedy. It is also, and it was just a CIA job. It's also going to confirm things about Martin Luther King that the powers that be would rather you not know about. Now, I'm saying things about Martin Luther King that a lot of us in the South already knew. Martin Luther King was not the man that you have been taught he was. Now, he was a tremendous orator, and I'm not saying he didn't do some good things, but Martin Luther King, besides being a plagiarist, which in my opinion forfeits any doctoral certificate, he was a plagiarist. He was also a serial philanderer. And I know people who know a thing or two about this file who are saying that there is proof in this file, and I mean by proof, literal audio footage taken out of hotel rooms where Mr. King was carrying on with women that were not Mrs. King, and I'm talking about a lot of different women. And I don't think there are a lot of people that don't want that to come out. But anyway, what's going to happen there, I don't know. But that leads into the last thing I want to talk to you about. I just want to recommend a particular show on YouTube from a particular channel to you for your enjoyment and information and enlightenment. It is fantastic. I've told you before on this channel that there's another channel, and I'm going to link this specific episode down below. The name of the channel is America's Untold Stories, featuring Mark Gruber, who is absolutely fantastic. And Mark's latest show that was put up yesterday, Tuesday, is a show. Let me not get ahead of myself. A lot of his content is talking about current events, but he does a lot of deep dive into a lot of different stories, American stories, releasing information that we were never taught in American schools. He has a lot of information about the JFK assassination, and he does deep dives on all of the players that had anything to do with the JFK assassination. Names that you have either never heard of or maybe you have heard and you forgot about, such as General Curtis LeMay, Bombs Away LeMay, Ruth Payne, all these different players, Jack Ruby, all these different players that had something to do with the events surrounding the JFK assassination. I find it riveting. I'm somewhat of a JFK assassination buff, so I'm really drawn to this show. But his latest show is all about Marina Oswald. And this episode is utterly fascinating. Forget anything you ever knew or thought you knew about Marina Oswald or her husband Lee Harvey. This show is going to show you an angle to Marina Oswald in particular and Lee that is mind-blowing. She is not, and Marina's still alive, by the way. Her name now is Marina Oswald Porter. She is still alive. I think she's in her mid to late 80s, but she is still alive. She's remarried. She is not who we have been told she was, to say the least. All right, look, that's all I got time for. Everybody go out there and have a great day. Please give me a thumbs up on this video if you would. All the relevant links are down below, the one I just told you about. If you would like to buy me a cup of coffee, you can do so down below as a way of saying thank you. I would appreciate that very much. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Everybody go out there and have a great day. This is Trailer Trash Tim. Cheers to you, my friends, and I will see you soon.